I was diagnosed with depression several years ago. It was after my daughter was born, and I had actually developed postpartum psychosis. And it was really difficult for me to come to terms with the fact that I had gotten so deep in, and I needed to find a way to bring myself back to the person that I want to be, not that person that I didn't recognize for the longest time. I did go through therapy, and I take medication every day to manage my depression symptoms. But somebody said something to me that really stuck with me a while ago, and what they said is, "You are what you do." And I thought about that for a while and kind of wondered, what does that mean? You are what you do. Well, when it comes right down to it, if you don't feel like doing a whole lot of anything, you just sit down on the couch and you get sucked into whatever happens to be on TV or whatever the current game craze is right now, you're not going to do much. You're just going to kind of sit there and not be moving, not be active, and so you're going to be feeling more depressed, and it's a cycle that just kind of feeds on itself. And so what I found is I have to actually make myself get up. There are times that I want to just sit on the couch and do nothing. There are times that I just want to go in and lay down. But I need to go out and engage in things, even if I don't feel like it. You know, the kids will ask me, "Mom, let's go kick a soccer ball around." Or, you know, my husband will say, "Let's go take a walk." And I really don't feel like it. It's, when I start, it's more of a hindrance, more of a problem that, you know, fine, I'll just do it to make you happy. But once I get out, I found that I've really enjoyed it. It's really been a nice, pleasant experience, a time where I could enjoy my family. And when I got back, I felt much better. So I said a little bit ago about I'm going through some medical issues right now. My thoughts are kind of rambling and things, so I've got some big tests that are coming up, and I've been really concerned, really nervous, and I'm not feeling the best. And I did really seriously think about not doing this tonight. But what would I be doing if I decided, you know what, I'm just on the couch, maybe take a nap and not do much? I wouldn't be the positive in myself. I would be giving into those negative feelings, giving. Hey, Carol, you should see me now. Let me know if you can. I hope, fingers crossed, that I have things all worked out. To answer your question, I live in northern Michigan, up in the Traverse City area, and it's such a gorgeous day that I thought, why not go ahead and sit out here in the yard and enjoy the sunshine and get to work on our art journals in nature here. So now that we've got this going and we've got this camera worked out, I'm going to share with you some of the things that I use in my art journal. Of course, this is an art journaling class, so what does every art journal class need but an art journal? And so let's go ahead and take a look at the journal that I have here. This is just a small journal that I picked up at Joann's. This one cost, probably about $5. But then I had a coupon, so it cost less than $2, I think, finally. And if you look on the inside pages of this journal, it is a lined journal. It's designed for you to actually write in like a diary, but I've never really done that diary thing, and it's not something I've tried, but it just didn't work for me. The one thing I like about this is, if you can see here on the spine, this is actually a stitched spine here. This journal has a stitched fine. It has a soft kind of a leatherette type cover, and it's really sturdy, really stable, and the pages open up nice and flat. I've done a couple pages. You can see on I think I just posted a picture of this page. This one, you can see that I actually completed this page online at one point in time. And this is the most recent page that I've done in my journal. As I shared a little bit, I have some health problems that I am dealing with. I'm going in for diagnostics. I have trigeminal neuralgia, and they're suspecting that it was caused by MS, and we're kind of in the middle of everything. And so I had all kinds of different thoughts, emotions running through my head, and I didn't know how I could calm things. And so I got out my art journal and I created this page. You know, I've got my heart here because my heart is still whole, but I do every once in a while get those jabs of pain going through here. But it's just that this is what an art journal is all about, pouring yourself into things that maybe you don't want others to share, or things that help focus you on the good things you have in life. And that's kind of where I like to look, is what are the positive that I have going for me? What are the things that are really great, the things that really are going to bring me up, help focus on all the blessings that I have. So once you get your art journal, if you have one that has the lines on the pages here, you're going to want to do something so that you cover those up. And I just used an inexpensive acrylic gesso. Go ahead and put a couple of coats of the gesso on your page and let that dry. One thing I do like to do, you can see I've got a few pages here that are gessoed, is I like to go ahead and do several at a time, and then I'll put a sheet of plastic wrap on the inside so that the gesso will be able to dry on my pages, and I can get several ready to go at once. If you're using a book that doesn't have a lot on the pages, then you don't necessarily need to use the gesso. But like I said, because I do have those lines, I am going to use that gesso on the pages, and I'll do a couple of pages at a time as I go. So one of the things that we're going to be doing in this art class is I'm going to be encouraging you to move. As I said in the other video that was not working very well, it would be very easy for me to get sucked into the couch, for me to just sit down on the couch, not do anything, maybe watch a video game or watch a movie, play video games all day. But if I do that, I actually find myself feeling worse, and so I want to go lay down even more. And one of the things that somebody had said to me was, you are what you do. We all have heard you are what you eat and those sorts of things. But even more so, you are what you do. If you are going to sit on the couch and feel depressed and feel sad about your life, that's probably what you're going to be, is you're going to be sad. You're going to feel like you just can't continue on, or at least that's how I feel. But if I force myself to go, say the kids want me to play catch, or my husband wants me to go for a walk, or the dog is begging at the door, and I just say, fine, my heart's only half into it, but I'll do it. I find that even though I don't go out really wholeheartedly, by the time I'm done, I find that I've really enjoyed myself, and I'm glad that I've gotten up off the couch and moved. And so that's where I came up with the title for this class. It's the power of positive, because if we're going to continue thinking of our lives in a negative manner, it's going to be harder for us to find the positive. And then also, art is a way that I can help focus my thoughts. And if I have things that are prompts or little things to do that are going to help encourage me to get involved more in my life, then I am going to be engaging in my life. And so engaging in art, doing little projects here and there to help engage you in your life and live the life with your family, not just watch your family and your friends live their lives. And so to get started, I just thought that I would share a page here with you. And I think one of the things that I'm going to do on this, so this is just going to be a simple page where I do a few odds and ends here, but I'm going to start with kind of a fence. I'm just using a pencil here to draw a fence in. And you know, if you see your chain link fences, they have this kind of woven diamond pattern. So I'm just going to put this in loosely with my pencil and link my diamonds. My diamonds aren't linking very well, are they? My hands are not as steady as I would hope. But here's my fence. And because sometimes that's how, for me, that's how it feels, is there's like a fence or a wall or something between me and the things that I want to do. And sometimes it can also feel a bit like being imprisoned. So I'm going to kind of put coils of the wire up here. All right. So there is the beginning here of this page. And let's see, I'm going to see if I can't zoom in a little bit so that you can get a better picture of what I'm doing. Maybe I'll lower my camera. Excuse me here if I'm going to get you a little dizzy. I don't mean to, but I want you to get a good view of what I'm doing. Whoa, look at that. Now you really get a good view. So here is my fence. And I'm just using a pencil to sketch this in. Hi, Linda. I see that you've signed on. I'm glad that you're joining us. You can see here, I'm going to give you another view of what I shared with Carol. Let's see if I can't get this. I am out here in my wonderful yard. It's been a gorgeous afternoon, so I'll let you see that no snow. Yay! So go ahead and focus back down on the art because that's really the important thing, although the snow being gone is pretty important to me as well. We've had plenty of it. So here I have my fence drawn in, and the things that I feel that kind of are blocking me right now, just to be fully up front, right now I am kind of scared. So I'm going to, here, fear will be one of the things that's kind of holding me back. Pain, whether it's emotional pain, physical pain, we all experience pain. I am in northern Michigan outside of Traverse City, Linda. So we finally got spring. It went from snow last week to 80 degrees today. Sadness. And feeling alone sometimes. So these are all different parts of the things that kind of hold me back sometimes, the things that I feel like I really need to kind of break away from. And this is where I happen to be. I am here right now. So let's go ahead and block letters. Let's hope I can spell this correctly. I'm here. But this is not where I want to be. I really don't want to be where I'm feeling the different sadness, I don't want that to be my life. Oh, you're getting ready for some heat in Charleston, South Carolina, I'm assuming. I used to live in a town called Charlotte, but it was spelled just like Charlotte. And everyone asked if I was from North Carolina. I said, nope, Michigan. A little different, weather's a little cooler. But like I was saying, I am here with the sadness, the fear, sometimes feeling alone. But where I really want to be is present. And I'm going to write that over here on my page. And I want to be present. And I like the word present because it means more than just being somewhere. It means more than just, yes, I am in this particular location. It has more of a connotation of actually being active wherever you're at, being a part of your surroundings, being a part of your world, and not only being a part of your life. Oh, you can hear me, but you can't see me? Can you see me, Linda? I'm just going to keep working here and see if Linda can see me. So like I was saying, being present means more than just being at a location. It means being actually a part of things. And that's what I don't want to just be in my life. I want to participate in my life. I want to be a part of what happens in my life. I'm going to mess with my camera a minute here and see if I can't get more of. So Linda, you can hear me then. So as I was saying, let's not just be somewhere. Let's be present wherever we're at. Let's see. So and now if you want to get from just being here, you actually need to do something. You can't, the whole saying of doing the same thing over again and expecting different results, sayings like that are what they are because they're true. And so what we need to do in order to get from here to being present where we want to be, we're going to have to do something. So I'm going to draw an arrow because that's what I want to do, is I want to direct my life from where I am, from being here right now, into being present. Yep, I'm working on an art journal page right now, and one of the things that we're going to do is, I'm going to explain it here in a minute, but you'll get different prompts here. And so in order to get from here, where I'm feeling right now, to being present, I'm going to need to move. And that's where this class comes in, this group is going to come in. It would be so very easy for me, as I've said before, to just kind of not do a whole heck of a lot of anything, just to kind of sit around like a bump in a log and just hang out. But that's going to make it more difficult for me to actually become engaged in my life and to be and do what I want to do. And so in order to create the life that I want, I need to get out and do things, and that's where that move part comes in. If you're going to be moving, then you're going to have something that you are aiming towards, or you're moving towards, and so that's what this class is going to be. You are going to get in the class page a list of different prompts. They're up there right now. For instance, one of them is invite a friend for coffee. It doesn't matter if you are at your home together, or if you go to a coffee shop, or if you just go to a park, something. Go get out of the house and have a cup of coffee with your friend. One of the prompts is going to be go out for a walk in nature and take a picture of something that inspires you, something that is going to encourage you to move. And we're going to create an art journal using those different prompts as the starting point. I have a lot of different techniques that I am going to be sharing with you throughout the course here. Different things that you can use in your art journals so that you're not only creating and you're not only getting out and moving, but you're also going to be learning new techniques. One of the things that I've got in the works right now is skeletonized leaves. So I'm going to go out for a walk in the woods with my family and collect some leaves, and then we'll go through the process of learning how to skeletonize leaves and just kind of take care of, or kind of take some of those processes. One of the things that I'm encouraging people who take part to do is to kind of make note of how you feel before you take on whatever the process for the week is, and then compare that to how you feel after. And maybe you'll find that as you go through these, there are certain things that you didn't know that you were going to enjoy, but when it's all said and done, you actually really do it. One of the things that I learned that I enjoy and I never would have thought was yoga. One of my girlfriends invited me to a yoga class that I decided to go to, and I found that that's a way that I can really find some peace And so that's what I'm hoping to do, is maybe encourage you to find some ways that within your life you can find your own peace, find your own place that you can go and develop your own positive energy and create that place, create the life that you want to be, create a life that you're present in, not just a life that you happen to be around. Does that make sense? Does that answer your questions? Hi, Rose. How are you? All right. So what I've used here is a little bit of Tattered Angels Glimmer Glam, just to kind of go around the back of my page here. And I think I'm going to be using some other watercolor type paints to paint in. But I'm just going to kind of keep talking and keep explaining as we go through here. If you have any questions, just let me know and I will answer them for you. One of the things that understand how difficult it is sometimes to just get up and just move. Let's see. Can everyone else hear me? Is everyone else getting the video and the sound through? What I'm using here now is twinkling H2Os. If you saw Edie's series on demystifying mediums, you'll learn more about these. These are a watercolor paint that has a bit of mica in them. I absolutely love these paints. Yes, I did gesso. I went through a little bit earlier in the video, and this is going to stay up so you can go back and look. This is a journal that I picked up at Joann's. It was like $5, and I had a coupon, so I got it for less than $2. And I did gesso the pages. I've done a few in here already. And one of the things that I did say that I like to do is go through and gesso a couple of pages at a time. And then when I'm doing that, like on these pages, they're just about completely dry. I'm going to put a sheet of plastic in here so that they don't glue themselves together. So that then when I go to work on my my pages, I can just go ahead and get going. That way I have a half a dozen or so that are ready for me to paint on or to use whatever medium I'm going to do right away without having to gesso and wait for that to dry, because I happen to be a little bit of an impatient person. So, all right. I hope we don't have issues. I live out in, everyone says, pretty much the middle of nowhere. We have 20 acres, and you need to take a gravel road to get to the dirt road to get to our seasonal road. So I guess we do live a little bit out of the way, and our internet service is not the greatest. And my husband right now, he is a surveyor. That's one of the things that has happened to add a little bit of stress to our lives. My husband lost his job in February, and so he's opening his own business. That doesn't make things any easier. But what that does, oh, I just lost the video again there. It keeps flickering. I'm not sure what's going on. But, so, yeah, As I was saying before, I think, let's see if we can't get back on track, eh? I always get sidetracked. But as I was saying before, what was I saying before? I noticed, like, to have to try and get up and go do things every day when your heart's just not into them, where you're just kind of going through the motions. But sometimes all it takes is a couple of times of going through the motions to find that you really do enjoy something and you want to continue. So, I am going to also share with you who I am and what I'm going through. I tell everyone who has kids that are having babies, that have friends who are starting their family, that I've experienced pretty much the worst of it. After my daughter was born, I developed postpartum psychoses, and that was very, very frightening. And I still have a hard time dealing with or coming to terms with some of those scary thoughts that I had going through my mind at the time. And I will, if there's anybody who is going through that, you know, I will definitely listen. I know how hard it is to admit, first off, to yourself that you're in such a bad place, but then also to admit it to other people is really difficult. That red paint is called Playful Peony. It is one of the Twinkling H2O. So far what I've used is Tattered Angels Glimmer Glam in Dirty Martini. I've used the Twinkling H2Os in Playful Peony and in Burnt Umber. And then I'm going to be using a little bit of the Glimmer Glaze in Chianti. So, yeah. So, let's see. Yeah, I am also going to tell you that I have no degree. I am not a counselor. I am not a therapist. I just know that in order for me to feel like I've gotten something good out of my experience, I really want to help people. I really want to help others if they need the help, you know, just even if it's just an ear to listen to, even if it's a shoulder to cry on, someone to vent to. I just, you know, I want to be able to help. I actually found these Twinkling H2Os on eBay. This is a set. I think I was at a scrapbooking crop weekend with my sister when I was introduced to the Twinkling H2Os, and so I went online and found them on eBay. I used that. I will put a link up to where you can get these Twinkling H2Os. They're watercolor paint that has a lot of pigment and a lot of mica, so they have a bit of a shimmer in them. So that's what those Twinkling H2Os are, and I believe it's Luminart that makes them. They're fairly inexpensive, and they come in these little pots, and I've had them for years, and I haven't gone all the way. I haven't even put a dent in them. So that's those Twinkling H2Os. So here I am filling in the word that I've got printed in my arrow, the move. And so in case anyone has missed it, one of the biggest things that I'm going to challenge myself and all of you is to get out there, to move, to get involved in your life, to do things, to be present, and keep track of how you feel. You know, maybe you find that, you know, I really am not one to go for walks, but you know what, I'll try it just to see. And maybe you'll find that there'll be a little bench or a little garden that you find. I'm sorry, Carol. Hopefully it works better for you on the replay. But you know, maybe you'll find something special, and maybe you'll find that you just don't like something, and that's okay. But at least you'll know how, if you're feeling maybe particularly overwhelmed with something, maybe a yoga workout will help for you. If you're feeling maybe a little bit lonely, maybe taking a walk, meeting somebody at the park, having coffee with a friend is what's going to help you. You know, just get yourself out there, get yourself involved, and then also use your art, use your journal to help. This that I'm using here is another Twinkling H2O. It's a little bit darker green than the Glimmer Mist. Is called Mallard. And I'm just going to fill in the rest of my page here. And so, like I was saying, you can go ahead and log in. In order to view the challenges, you do need to purchase the membership. But some of the things that we're going to be doing is I'll be challenging you to go take a walk somewhere, find a picture that you really like, find something that inspires you, and we'll incorporate that picture into our art journals using some neat techniques. One of the things that I'm planning on and I'm working on is showing you how you can skeletonize leaves and how you can use those in your art journal. So this is going to be not only about creating an art journal, it's going to be about getting you engaged in your life, getting you in touch with how you're feeling, helping you realize the power that you have within yourself. Another thing that somebody had said that I think we all need to remember is the only one responsible for the way you feel is yourself. You know, people can be horrible, people can be mean. You know, lately I have been through the ringer. You know, as I said earlier, my husband lost his job in February. He is starting his own company. That means that I had the pleasure of, in addition to working as a substitute teacher, I had the pleasure of getting all of his marketing materials put together and developing his website and that. In the midst of that, I found out that in my role as president of our local school board, I am being sued. I've just begun the process of diagnosis, medical tests. They think that I may have MS. So, you know, there's been a lot of things that are going on in my life right now that I know if I let them, those things will really get to me. Those things will almost paralyze me. And you could so easily just kind of shut myself in and not really participate, but I don't want that for myself. I don't want that to be part of who I am. And so I am going to take control as much as I can of the circumstances I am given and turn them into as much of a positive as I can. So there is my journal page. I'm not sure why this isn't working here. I'm not sure how far along you guys were actually able to see, but I'm going to turn it so that it's facing the right direction. Boy, it still is reversed, isn't it? I wonder why. There's something weird going on here. So basically, to show you what I've got going on here is I'm here. This is kind of a fence. Maybe I will draw in my fence a little bit better. And these are the feelings that I have that are kind of trapping me. You know, I feel sadness, pain, fear. I feel like I'm alone. But that's not where I want to be. And in order to go from where I am right now to where I want to be, which is present, I have to move. And that's the process that we are going to be dealing with in this class, is the process of the movement. We're going to be moving, we're going to be engaging in different things, we're going to be trying things. I'm going to share with you my challenges. I'm going to be as honest with you as I can. And just to not to get any sympathy or, oh, good is correct for you, not to get any sympathy or anything like that, but just because I want you guys to see that I'm a real person too. I am, you know, I have my trials. I have challenges, and we all have the challenges. So let's see, I think I'm going to darken this up a little bit. And I'm just using pencils here, just regular graphite pencils. This is 4B, so that it's nice and dark and smooth. But so here is the final page. Do you guys have any questions for me now that we've kind of talked through a little bit? Any questions about what we'll be doing or what the class is about? You know, I can answer anything that that you may have. Go ahead and get these put away here. And over the course of the class, we're going to be using all kinds of different materials. I use mostly watercolor paints tonight and my pencil, but we're going to be using acrylic paints and things like that. And I will provide each month a list of prompts, things that you can do, so that you can work through either at your own pace, or you can watch as I work through the same prompts. How do I seal my pages? Sometimes I'll just go ahead and use a little bit of hairspray to seal them, particularly if I'm using a chalk or a pastel or something like that. Normally I don't. If I'm using mostly acrylics, I won't seal it. I'll just leave it as it is. But I also will use maybe a little bit of a light coat of an acrylic medium. So what will you be doing? You will be creating a journal page using different types of techniques. I will walk you through some different things. We'll do some interactive pages. We will be using some different mediums to provide different kinds of textures. We'll be looking at developing different backgrounds, just all kinds of different things. And the list of things that you'll need on hand will be in the group page. If you follow the link up there, the ongoing art journal class, there's a link, The Power of Positive, Engaging in Art to Engage in Life. If you click on that and then access the membership part of that page, you'll be able to see the different supplies. And I'm going to try and make it as easy as I can, because I know even though most of us crafters are hoarders, I know I'm going to go ahead and change the camera up here so I can actually talk to you. But you'll know what sort of supplies that you'll need, and I'm not going to be exorbitant. I'm not going to say maybe you need to get 24 karat gold leaf or things like that. I'm going to try and make it as simple as possible. And then I'll also be, from time to time, if there are different techniques that we'll be using that you can't quite do in a short amount of time, I'm going to go over those so that you'll be able to get the projects at least going and done, and you'll be able to refer back to those. You know, some of the other things, I am known for using rather unique materials. In my scrapbook pages, I have used barbecue skewers. I've used a fishing lure. I've used some really unique things, and I'm going to show you how you can use some of those unique things. Say you've gone out to lunch with a friend, or you went and had coffee or tea, and you keep that label. I'll show you some different ways that you can use ephemera like that in your journal. So just all kinds of different techniques, and I'm going to try and give you a month at a time. I give you as much forewarning so that you know what we'll be working on as we go through. So I think I'm going to head on in and maybe lay down, take a nap, because life tends to get the best of me right now. I really need a rest, but yeah, I hope to see you next Wednesday. As the saying goes, same bat times. Actually, it'll be a different bat channel. You'll have a link. I'll get you the link to that channel where you can see that. And I will let you know as soon as I can what the project is that we'll be working on a week from today. We'll talk to you guys all later.